are going to take our next step into writing equations. We're to the point that we need to be able to take sentences or situations and be able to create our own equations. What impacts that is, do we know what different words and phrases mean different operations? Okay? What phrases or words would mean for you to add? Throw out what phrases or words, Allison. More than. I'm going to add then to it, but it might say more or more than. Finn? Plus. JC? Greater than. Gatlin? How about add? Increased? And I think total. More than, plus, greater than, add, increased, or total. Well, it means it's going to be equal, but it's telling you that in total, that would mean you add them all together. How about subtract? Words that mean to subtract. Isaiah, less than. Put a box around the phrase less than, because that is a special phrase. There's a special rule with that one. Okay, minus, subtract, decrease, fewer, pick up, smaller. That's probably your most common ones. Bad. Difference, good one. I forgot that one. Difference, probably one of the most common ones. I do like your hair clip as well, by the way. Nicely done. Okay. How about multiply? Words that mean multiplication. Connor. Times. Jacob. Chris. Say it again. Oh, very good. Of is a very, very common one. How about just multiply? Ooh, there's another one. Starts with a P. Product. Thank you. Product. Divide's the shortest list. We've actually only written 2 words today in divide. One of them being divide. The other one starts with a Q. Quotient. Quotient. Very good. What is the most common word used to indicate an equal sign? No. Lane? Is. 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 The same as, equal to, but is. Is. Okay? So on the start of your homework, they're going to give you an English sentence and ask you to translate it to write it as an equation. And I have that on the bottom of this page. I'm going to read it out loud, and what I want you guys to do is to underline any word or words that may indicate a math operator or an equal sign. So the first one says 13 is 7 more than 1/5 of a number. I'll read it again. Underline any word or words that indicate math operators. 13 is 7 more than 1/5 of a number. JC, what'd you underline? Is, more than, and of. Did she miss any? Nope. If it doesn't have the special phrase less than, just translate exactly how it is. What is this first word? 13. That's a number, yes? So 13. Is means equals. We have another number, 7. More than means addition. 1/5 of a number.
1/5. Right?
1/5 of a number. Chris? 1/5 x. Would you have to use x? No. It doesn't technically tell us here. So in this case, most of us go to our default is x. But if you put a p, they're not going to count it off. Okay? Ooh, yes. Up here, some. Good idea. And this is just a small list. It's not saying these are the only words that indicate that. Okay, same thing. Underline any words as I read this out loud that indicate a math operator or an equal sign. 8 less than 3 times a number is -23. 8 less than 3 times a number is -23. Somebody I haven't heard from today, tell me what you want to underline, Tori. Less than, times, and is. Did she miss any? Number's not a operator. What is it telling you? That's your variable, right? Your unknown. Okay? Less than. Here's that special phrase, less than. What math operation does less than really mean? Subtraction. But it's a special one. Whatever they talk about in front of the phrase less than needs to go behind the minus sign. And whatever they talk about after the phrase less than needs to go in front of it. So we know less than means we're subtracting. What do they talk about in front of the phrase less than? 8. Where's it going? Behind the minus sign. It goes behind the minus sign. And then we have 3 times a number. How can we indicate 3 times a number? Gavin? By 3x. 3x. And because it's after the phrase less than, it really needs to go in front of the equal sign. So we end up with an 8, if my pen would work. Oh, now it is working. An 8 behind the minus sign and 3x in front of the minus sign. Is means equals -23. You only swap the order if the entire phrase less than is present. It's the only one you swap. Okay, try C totally on your own. 41 decreased by Raj's age is 22. Use R to represent Raj's age. 41 decreased by Raj's age is 22. Use R to represent Raj's age. Somebody I haven't heard from today, what'd you write on this one? Kaya. Take it back. Nevaeh. Anybody else do 41 minus R equals 22? Do I have to swap the order on this one? Nope. Is she right? 100%. Nicely done. You guys want to know what the most common mistake is on today's homework? Using the wrong letter. It's going to tell you what letter to use. Like people are like, Ms. Huff, I don't know why I got this wrong. I have the same thing. I'm like, no, you used a different letter. The best part is Alex even pops up and says, make sure you use the correct variable. Read the pop-up. Okay, save yourself time. Read the pop-up. All right, so this is fine and dandy. This is great. But how does this impact what we've been doing with solving equations, Ms. Huff? Flip it over. So being able to identify words that indicate your math operators help us when those problems become longer with those sentences. You buy 3 books that each cost the same amount and a magazine, all for $55.99. I'm going to stop right there. I want to put this into a partial equation. No numbers, but just how I would set up my equation. Only words. What am I buying? 3 books and a magazine. So really I have books. What math operation am I going to do with that magazine to set up an equation? Gavin? I'm going to add to it the magazine and it's going to equal my total cost. Follow what I just did there? I'm just shorthanding this. No numbers. No numbers. The cost of my books plus the cost of my magazine is going to give me my total cost. So I continue to read. You know the magazine costs $1.99. How much does each book cost? So how much does each book cost is your last question. It's your unknown. You pick your letter. What letter you want? B equals the cost of one book. Be specific. Some people just want to write books. How many books? The cost of a book? The total cost of the book? What is it representing? Now that we have it in shorthand, let's start replacing it. Books plus magazine equals total cost. Somebody raise your hand and tell me what you want me to replace. Information that you know. What information can you replace this equation with now? Gavin. Why 3B?
Because these cost one book and there's 3 books.
Very good. 3 books. What else do you know? Gatlin? And does not mean addition. And does not mean any operator by itself. Gavin replaced for us that the cost of the books is going to be represented by 3B. I need to replace magazine and my total cost. Thad. And how much is the magazine? Oh. Yep, read a little bit further. The magazine costs $1.99. That'd be a really big curveball if they didn't give us that, wouldn't it? What's your total cost? $55.99. This looks like an equation you had yesterday, agreed? This seems annoying to you, like, Miss Hoff, why do I spend my time? Tomorrow it will help. So let me be annoying today and do this, because tomorrow it's going to be huge. All right, walk me through how to solve this. Step 1, I drew the line. Now? Jacob?
You subtract both sides by 1.99.
I end up with 3B equals 54. Someone else, now what? Allison? Divide by 3 on each side. 1B equals anybody? 18. How much does each book cost? $18. Here's something crazy for you. Friday you have a quiz. People want to shorthand this. I'm going to tell you right now. You get a point for telling me your variable. You get a point for writing the equation. You get a point for showing all the steps. You get a point that you actually calculated it, and you get a point for putting it with a correct label at the end. This is a 5-point problem. And if you chicken scratch this out and skip everything else, you get a 1 out of 5. That's 20%. This is huge. Okay? Being able to write this equation and show me how to solve it. Write it with what they gave you. Don't worry about the answer right away. Just write it with what they gave you. And I know what I have written in red is annoying to you guys, but I promise you it comes out. It's super important tomorrow. Let's talk about Selma. Selma is saving money to buy a bike. She has $60 and is going to save an additional $5 each week. The bike costs $125. In how many weeks will she have enough money to buy the bike? Let W represent the number of weeks. So they already tell us W is going to be the number of weeks. Now, no numbers, words only. Just like we wrote, books plus magazine equals the total cost. Somebody set up what information here is going to represent our equation. No numbers. No numbers. Jacob's already answered for me. Somebody else. No numbers. Like on the last one we said the books plus the magazine is going to give me my total cost. Thad, what are you thinking?
$30.
Okay, be more specific. What dollars are you talking about? Okay, so what is it going to look like? Don't use numbers though.
Is it allowed to spell out the number?
Books plus magazine gave me my total cost. What does Selma have? No numbers. What about dollars? What about money? It doesn't help me. That's not specific. If I wrote money on the last problem, money plus money equals total money. What does she have? No numbers. Guys, don't answer the same thing. If I didn't accept it the first time, the seventh time you answer it, it's not funny. What does she have? Her current allowance, or what? Somebody else just said it. Her current savings. Her starting money. Her starting savings. What she currently has. Okay, what does Selma do? She saves more. What's happening to her savings? Is it going up or going down? What math operation is that? So I'm going to add what to it? Don't tell me a number. Describe it. Say it again. Her additional savings, or weekly savings, right? Okay. What does that equal? Of? What is she working towards? The bike, right? She is working towards the bike cost. Again, I know you find this annoying, but it's going to help you. Okay, now use numbers. What does she start with? $60. What are her additional savings? 5W, 5 per week. Remember that word per? What is the cost of the bike? $125. On your own. Don't shout it. Solve this. On your own. Just like we've been doing for the past couple of days. Solve this for me. How many weeks is it going to take her? You're going to give me the answer? Or you have a question? Okay, hold on 1 second. Thad, what'd you get? 13. Anybody else get 13? Okay. So how many weeks is it going to take her? 13 weeks. 13 weeks. When you have that written down, set your pencil down, fold your hands so I know you're listening. Work is more important to me than the correct answer. And I mean that wholeheartedly, because if you know how the process goes, we can always get the right answer. Getting one problem right because you guessed and checked doesn't help you. Okay? Every single day, work is going to be required, especially on lines. So today, when you log into your online, the first two are where they give you an equation and they ask you to pick the stories that match. Is there really any work that you can even write down on that? No, they're check boxes. So you don't have to write anything down. Then the next couple of problems are just like these, where they're going to give you a sentence and you're going to type in the equation. All I ask, just write down what you type in. There's not really any work to show there. You know what I mean by that? Just write down what you type in. The ones on the back are going to be the ones that are going to be lengthier, and I put that in quotes. Not necessarily that they're going to take you longer, but there's going to be more writing to them. I have a few sheets of the stuff with the boxes on there. If you want your own paper, that's fine. Otherwise, you can use any scratch paper that's back there. You have the rest of the hour to work. You still have to show work, yes. Like on those first couple where you're just checkbox, you don't have to write anything down. I'm okay.